Well, federal disability programs, which are managed by the Social Security Administration, are on this high-risk list. New SBA Administrator Kelly Loeffler has been vocal on X about Social Security fraud, writing, "DOJ's work on Social Security fraud is critical. States use the SSA database to help identify deceased voters on voter rolls. If deaths aren't accurately recorded by SSA, the deceased may remain eligible to vote." Elon Musk is helping save tax dollars and stop voter fraud.
Kelly Loeffler joins us now. It's great of you to be here. Also on the high-risk list, Administrator, is the emergency loans to small business program run by the Small Business Administration. During COVID, the Economic Injury Disaster Loan Program administered $136 billion in fraudulent loans. That was 30% of the overall total. And if you go through the GAO report, they have a lot to say about how the SBA is still run exceedingly poorly. That's certainly at the top of your to-do list.
Absolutely, Dagan. It is a new day at the SBA. That's why when I laid out my day one priorities just yesterday, this is my first week on the job, it included cracking down on fraud at the top of the list. Over $1.2 trillion was put out during the pandemic era, and about 30%, up to 30% could be fraudulent. So we are going to go after it. My message to those who committed fraud is we're coming after you. So we have to ensure that we learn from this, improve our systems, and crack down on fraud because the American taxpayers deserve to have their hard-earned money back in their pocket.
Can you talk more about this Social Security Administration issue with accurately recording people who are deceased? Because all the critics are saying, well, they're going into Social Security and they're going to go after your personal information and they're going to mess with your payments. But the point of this, obviously, is actually to save Social Security. And by the way, create more trust in our voting system. Talk more about that issue, because I don't think people are getting the right message on this.
Well, Brian, for the last 4 years, I worked on election integrity in my home state of Georgia. And so when I heard that there was cracking down on the fraud in the system, I also connected the dots to the voter rolls, which states rely on the Social Security database to update deaths and therefore remove people from voter rolls when it's not accurately reflected. When we have 19 million people still in the Social Security system, they could potentially, not all of them, of course, but be on the voter rolls. And that's why this is so important. This is common sense. I came out of the private sector. When your numbers are wrong, when there's data inaccuracies, there are consequences. Right. And so I'm excited that they're cleaning this up because it matters across the entire federal government.
And to point out, too, we talk about a 30% fraud rate, but these are thieves who are stealing from the taxpayers and deserve to be prosecuted. But we want to move on to you getting people back in the office. We saw last week 20% occupancy and empty cubicles to 80% occupancy of staff back in the office just on Monday. How did you do it? And are people actually excited to be back at work?
Well, Dagan, I was stunned, and I think the American people were stunned to see empty offices. Only 20% on Friday. We're already, thanks to President Trump's return to work order, 80% and above. Today we went above 80% back in the office. And obviously we have more work to do. But I said to my team, we are going to honor the work of small businesses by doing our jobs. And clearly, it's going to be hard. We're trying to turn an unaccountable system into an accountable system, and there will be a resistance. But there have to be consequences. We're going to work through that and make sure everyone gets back to work for the American people. So I'm grateful for President Trump's order on this because we are getting back to work.
You know, we see all the videos of the people who have been asked to go back to the office, you know, TikTok videos, and they're just broken up about it. They're feeling oppressed and all this stuff. But I got to imagine, actually, there's a significant contingent of people, maybe in your administration, who are coming back in the office and they're realizing, actually, it's nice to be back with people and, you know, collaborating a little bit and doing the kind of work that we used to do. Are you seeing some good news stories, not just all the whining that we've heard about?
Oh, absolutely. I can't tell you how great it is now to walk down the halls that are filled with people, be able to shake hands, learn what people are working on, have people come to me and bring challenges or issues that we can solve right there. This is critical. Returning to work makes sense from an efficiency perspective, from a cultural perspective, and from an accountability perspective. So it's really exciting. I think people are happy to be back. I was down grabbing lunch today, saw a lot of our team, and there's definite energy back in the building, and we're going to direct that to our small businesses.
You mentioned your priority list, and at the very top of it is cracking down on fraud and eliminating wasteful spending. But one thing that is always caused this inertia, and it's on both sides of the aisle, and this complete unwillingness to cut spending is because if you root out the waste and the abuse and the fraud, your budget's going to shrink. And it goes back to that old quote in reference to USAID, if you don't ask about the results, you don't fail, and your budget doesn't get cut. Is it a new day, a new administration, and a new way of thinking because of President Trump now?
Dagan, it absolutely is a new day, thanks to President Trump's assembling a cabinet that really cares about the American people and putting America first. That's what my day one priorities are about. It's all about making sure that we are working for the American people, for American citizens. And that's why my priorities include not just cracking down on fraud, but sanctuary cities. We're not going to have regional offices in sanctuary cities. We're not going to be giving our services to illegal aliens. We're going to make sure that we bring manufacturing back to America, because if we're working for the American worker, we're going to put this country first. So there's a new day here, and this administration is going to be transformative from top to bottom.
Administrator Kelly Loeffler, love that you're getting folks back in the office. And I agree, a good handshake is really important. That can only happen when you're, at work. Great stuff. Thanks for being with us today.
Thank you all.
All right.